The United States Air Force is about to break every rule we thought we knew about air combat. What if I told you that America's newest, most advanced stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider, wasn't just built to hit ground targets deep in enemy territory, but to hunt and destroy enemy fighter jets from hundreds of miles away? That's right, this subsonic bomber, a platform designed to slip past radar and drop precision munitions, is now being considered for a revolutionary new role. A flying weapons platform armed with dozens of air-to-air missiles, capable of dominating the skies without ever entering a dogfight. This isn't science fiction, this is the future of air warfare, and it's a direct response to an urgent and growing threat. If you believe innovation wins wars, type proud in the comments below. To understand why the Air Force is considering this radical shift, we need to talk about China. The People's Liberation Army Air Force is producing 5th generation stealth fighters at a pace the United States simply cannot match. China's J-20 Mighty Dragon is rolling off production lines at an estimated 100 to 120 aircraft per year. By the 2030s, China could have over 1,000 of these advanced fighters in service. Compare that to America. We produce roughly 135 F-35s annually, but 60 to 70 of those go to allies. That leaves only 65 to 75 for the US military. The F-22 Raptor production line shut down in 2011 after just 187 aircraft. This is what defense analysts call the tyranny of numbers. Now add geography to the equation. In a potential conflict over Taiwan, China operates dozens of air bases within unrefueled fighter range. The United States, we have a handful, mostly in Japan. In wargame scenarios, American forces might field only several dozen fighters simultaneously against 300 to 400 Chinese aircraft, even with Japanese support. Here's the critical weakness. An F-35 can only carry 4 to 6 missiles internally while maintaining its stealth profile. An F-22 carries 8. That's it. China knows this. They could flood the skies with older aircraft, converted into expendable drones, forcing American fighters to burn through their expensive limited missiles. Once those magazines are empty, our fighters become vulnerable targets. It's a losing equation, and the Air Force knows it. Enter the missileer concept. Here's how it works. Picture this. F-35s or F-22s fly far ahead, deep into contested airspace. These fighters act as the eyes of the operation, using their cutting-edge sensors and radars to detect enemy aircraft at long range, tracking them without revealing their own position. They don't fire. Instead, they send targeting data back through secure, jam-resistant networks to a platform orbiting safely 100 to 200 miles behind the front lines. The B-21 Raider. Acting as the shooter, the Raider launches a volley of long-range air-to-air missiles, AM-120 AMRAAMs or the newer AM-260 JTMs, destroying targets that the forward fighters identified but never engaged themselves. Think of the B-21 as a flying arsenal, a weapons magazine in the sky, the quarterback of the air battle, coordinating strikes while staying out of danger. This isn't just a theory. In recent war games simulating Pacific conflicts in the 2030s, both US Pacific Command and Air Force Global Strike Command specifically requested that B-21s be equipped with air-to-air capability. What started as a request for self-defense has evolved into something far more ambitious: offensive air superiority. The missileer concept flips the script. Instead of sending vulnerable fighters deep into enemy territory to fight outnumbered, we use stealth sensors to see the enemy first, then overwhelm them with firepower delivered from a platform they never even knew was there. So why the B-21? Why use a bomber for this role? Let's debunk some old thinking. Modern air combat isn't about dogfighting anymore. It's about first look, first shot. The fighter that sees the enemy first and shoots first wins. Speed and maneuverability, they matter far less than stealth and sensor range. The B-21 Raider was designed for exactly this kind of environment. First, unprecedented stealth. The B-21's flying wing design is stealthy from all angles, not just the front. Its radar cross-section is rumored to be as small as a bird's. In contested airspace bristling with advanced radars and surface-to-air missiles, the B-21 doesn't need to outrun a missile. It simply won't be detected in the first place. Second, massive payload capacity. An F-35 carries 4 missiles in stealth mode. An F-22 carries 8. The B-21, its massive internal weapons bay, could carry the firepower of 7 F-35s, potentially 30 to 50 air-to-air missiles in a single sortie. Imagine the tactical advantage. While enemy fighters burn through their magazines engaging decoys or forward scouts, the B-21 sits back and unleashes wave after wave of precision strikes. Third, range and endurance. Bombers are built to fly thousands of miles and loiter for hours. The B-21 can remain on station far longer than any fighter, providing persistent firepower exactly when and where it's needed. Fourth, networked by design. This is the game changer. The B-21 wasn't just designed as a bomber, it was built from the ground up as a combat node, a platform that collects, processes, and shares data across the battlefield. It's designed to operate as part of a family of systems, seamlessly coordinating with fighters, drones, and satellite networks. In the missileer role, this networked architecture becomes its greatest strength. The B-21 Raider isn't just a bomber anymore, it's a force multiplier. But before we get too excited, we need to talk about the challenges, because they're significant. Challenge 1. Production capacity. Northrop Grumman can only build 7 to 10 B-21s per year under current conditions. The Air Force wants at least 100, with Strategic Command advocating for 145. At this rate, it'll take decades to build the fleet we need. Every B-21 used as a missileer is one less bomber available for its primary mission, penetrating enemy defenses and striking strategic targets. That's a difficult trade-off. Challenge 2. Cost. Each B-21 costs approximately $700 to $800 million. Using these expensive irreplaceable assets as flying missile trucks raises a critical question. Is this the best use of resources, or should we develop cheaper purpose-built platforms for this role? Challenge 3. The missile shortage. Here's the biggest bottleneck. We don't have enough missiles. The US faces what analysts call a catastrophic shortage of air-to-air missiles. The AIM-120 AMRAAM has been depleted by conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. The AIM-260 JATM, intended as its replacement, still hasn't reached initial operational capability, years behind schedule. Even if we had the B-21s, we might not have the missiles to fill them. Equipping even 20 B-21 missileers would require 600 to 1,000 additional missiles beyond current inventories. Challenge 4. Strategic priorities. Air Force Global Strike Command has pushed back hard against this concept. Their mission is nuclear deterrence and strategic bombing, taking out hardened bunkers, command centers, and critical infrastructure deep in enemy territory. Only stealth bombers can do this job. Converting B-21s to an air-to-air role directly conflicts with this irreplaceable mission. So where does that leave us? The B-21 Raider missileer concept is technically feasible and operationally compelling. It addresses real, urgent challenges in how America would fight a high-intensity air war against a numerically superior adversary. But turning this concept into reality requires more than just good ideas. It demands dramatic increases in production capacity, massive investments in missile stockpiles, and hard choices about strategic priorities. The nature of war is changing. For the first time in generations, American air superiority cannot be taken for granted. China's rapid military modernization, combined with the vast distances of the Pacific, has created a strategic environment where old playbooks no longer work. The B-21 Raider represents more than just a new aircraft. It represents a new way of thinking. By turning a bomber into a fighter's most powerful ally, the Air Force is betting that in the wars of tomorrow, the side with the smartest network, not just the most jets, will rule the skies. Whether the missileer concept becomes operational doctrine or remains a fascinating experiment depends on whether American policymakers are willing to make the investments and the tough decisions needed to prepare for a fundamentally different kind of conflict. One thing is certain, innovation has always been America's asymmetric advantage, and the B-21 Raider, in whatever role it ultimately serves, is proof that advantage is still very much alive. What do you think of this strategy? Is the B-21 missileer concept the future of air combat, or a distraction from the bomber's primary mission? Let us know in the comments below. For more insights into the future of military aviation, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Air Dominance. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.